guys, what are we gonna do today? Guess what? Melanie came back. I didn't scare her away too much. She came back. It's warm in here. Okay, I think it's 8 degrees cooler today. It's only 91 instead of 99. Let's show them. I'm gonna put those two up right here.
Yes.
And this, look, we're gonna show you these. Aren't they fun? So we are gonna show you how we did these. And we did a few limited kits, but you don't need a kit after you've seen us do it. Then you can use what you've got to make it work. But what comes in there is 3 of these 5x7 wood blanks. And you are going to get some corrugated cardstock, regular chipboard, regular cardstock, all 5 images that we have. Plus, we have another project we're going to be showing you in another video in this. So I'll put this aside, and we are going to get started on these boxes. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna see, if you got the kit, you're gonna see this in there. So if you don't, what you can do is just find a fun image, whatever size that fits to what you're doing it on. And I just did in black and white. And on the paper, what you're gonna do is cut it out, the one that you wanna use. If you purchased one of the few kits we did, you're getting 3 of these wood blanks, but you're getting 2 in cardstock, so you can use all 5 images. Melanie and I both picked our photos. I'm going to use these florals, and she's gonna do this cute house. So the first thing we wanna do is you're gonna notice there's a piece of cardstock in there. And once again, just take an image. You could just print it onto cardstock and miss this step. What we're doing is we are just decoupaging this onto the cardstock. And then make sure it's all down. And then you can seal over the top of it also.
That's right.
So make sure it's all down, seal over the top, and then we're gonna let this puppy dry. And when he's dry, we'll cut him out.
Does this have to be laser print? Because if you use inkjet, these little...
I noticed that with the inkjet, it really wanted to smudge images.
Yeah, so it has to be a laser printed picture.
On this, otherwise just use a spray sealer over it, and then I think you're fine.
True.
Yeah, so you could do that instead.
Yep.
So we're gonna let these dry, then we're gonna cut these out when they're dry. If these are dry, we're gonna cut them out, and you're just gonna cut them out just like right at the lines. So try not, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if you have a little bit of white there, because we're gonna antique them a tad bit anyway. So we're just gonna cut these out. No, you're good. I'm just gonna tell you this. When we get all done cutting these out, they're still a little tacky, but it's not a big deal. They'll dry. You're gonna decide where you want your picture to be on your project. So decide on there where you want it to be. If you want it up high, or if you want it low, if you want it wherever you want it. I'm gonna put this flower here, so what I'm gonna do is I am just going to trace, I'm gonna give you this pencil, trace around this, and I'm gonna trace around this one more time onto a piece of cardstock. Have it horizontal, you could have it vertical, you could have it any way you would like. And I'm just doing a rough cut of this. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just gonna lay it. Actually, what we're gonna do is after we cut it out, we're gonna lay it right here, and then when we put our stencil over the top, it won't get on, those areas. That's the only reason we're doing this.
What do you call that?
Masking.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna grab a little piece of unsticky tape.
This will be my 3rd time masking ever.
This is low tack tape, so I'm just gonna make a little circle, stick it on there, and just so it kind of holds down.
Nice, okay.
It doesn't have to be a real high tack. I did try to put this around and mask it off with the tape, and it just made a mess. So I found this worked a lot better to do. Good job.
Thanks.
And just enough to hold it just so it'll stay on there where you want it. And just press down really good. But when you get your stencil on top. So this is the, if you have the kit, this is the stencil you're gonna get in there. And it's a 6x6. It's a little different because all you're going to raise is these outside edges. And then you can decide, do you want your edge like on an edge, so one edge comes up? Do you want it, you can decide how you want that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, if you're worried about this, you can tell I've used tacky spray on this because I have it stuck on the back. I'm just gonna lightly spray it. Don't spray it over your surface. There you go.
I don't want to do it.
Then don't do it. You don't have to. Carefully set it, but just make sure, or you can spray whatever you want. Okay, so we're just gonna open up our chalk paste, and then we're just gonna use our little credit card. Just gonna grab a little on the edge here.
So you didn't put any salt wash in?
I didn't put anything else in here.
Just
I'm just going across, and I'm gonna carefully and I'm just rubbing across one way. I'm not worried about it too much. And you don't even have to do it over where the paper is, but you just make sure you get around where the paper is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when you get to the bottom, we're gonna move it. You can use whatever color paste you would like or make your own. See, I'm pulling this up, and I know the whole thing is gonna come up, but that's okay, because I'm done with this part there. Carefully line this up. And what I did on mine at this bottom edge is I just see that one line at the bottom, and I'm just gonna lay this line over that.
Nice.
And then just finish the bottom.
Cool. I'll do the same.
It doesn't matter what color you use or what you have because you're going to be painting over this whole thing anyway. I just had a lot of this pink and that's what I grabbed first, so that's what we're using. Oh, and you're so good. You didn't even pull that off. Perfect! Look! Oh, and yours is at a perfect line that you can do your line down there.
Yeah.
Let's move it up to make it easier for you.
Sweet. Yeah, so I'm not gonna like tear the little painted parts, right?
No, you don't want to, and it's kind of like when we did the bunting, but you're just taking, if you can see on this one, just little bits in just a few little areas. You don't need much, and you don't want to tear out of where your photo's gonna be. You can see I just took just very few. You were so good with this last time. Just paint the whole thing.
What is this?
And this is just off-white. I mixed some crinoline and I added just a little bit of beadboard to it. So it's just what I had, and I just wanted an off-white, but you could do this.
I don't know what either of those are.
They're white tints of DIY paint.
Got it.
But you could use any paint you want. On this one, I'm just filling in the little holes, but on yours, you just paint the whole thing. And
even under here?
Yeah, so I just paint the whole thing, makes it easier.
Got it.
You can paint the sides if you want to, and then just kind of smooth your paint out a little bit.
Oh, I see.
Especially like where the photo is going to be, otherwise it'll be really bumpy underneath.
Got it.
And we probably could have used bigger brushes and made it a little easier.
Mine was wider than yours.
Oh.
So
it doesn't matter, but
perfect.
it's still going to look, it's going to look good when we're done. Okay, we're going to let it dry, and then we're going to seal it. So I'm using my polyacrylic Minwax Crystal Clear, and all we're going to do is just coat the top of this to seal it really well. And then all we're going to do is just coat this over and let it dry, and then we will get to our next stage.
Do I do the sides?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can just make sure, you might just want to do it just because of the dripping, because it kind of drips on the sides sometimes.
Continuity.
I don't have any sides. I don't have any sides. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna let this dry. So these are dry. So I've taken some gray paint and I've watered it down a little, and we're just gonna do a quick wash over this and let this dry. This is kind of like how we did the buntings.
Yep.
And you don't need very much paint for this. Okay, so we'll let this dry. When this kind of dries, we're just gonna take our rags, and they just have water on them, and wring it out as much as you can. And we're just gonna wipe back. So just go ahead and start rubbing it. You can rub it off. If you need to add more, you can. And baby wipes work really well, but actually, you know what? I'm finding using these, this is almost better because then I can just rinse it out. It's nice and cool in the water. See, and then you can go one way and the other way, sideways and forward and backwards and whatever you want.
I see.
And get it as much as you want or as little as you want. You tell me when you're done.
Okay.
And then we're gonna let this dry and then we're gonna decoupage our pictures on. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna decoupage our pictures onto our area of our frame that we had already designated. And this is gonna be a little heavier, so make sure you get a nice amount. You don't want it to like seep out when you press it down, but you wanna make sure you do it quickly and it's still wet and you have a nice amount on there and you can even add a little to your area too. So it really sticks well. And then kind of hold it down there for a second.
Okay,
So
right.
just make sure all the edges are kind of smooth and down. After we think we've got that down, let's get our antiquing. See how dark that gets? So I'm just sticking it on here, doing one blob here. I'm using my vintage photo and I am just gonna lightly rub on this. And then in a moment, we are going to get our sealer, put it on, and it will help move this distressing
Oh, right. 'cause it
around.
makes it- yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, whoops. Here, let me move this guy out of the way. Oh, believe me, you don't even know. No, usually I take my decoupage brush and put it in my coffee, and it's like, oh. The sealer, we don't need a ton of sealer, but when you're all done,
I'm done.
don't let me hurry you.
No.
And then you have your little brush again and our fun polyacrylic, and you can see how that moves that. And we're just going to seal this one last time. Doesn't that look pretty?
I like it.
And if you really want more, what I found is if I really want more brown in it, all you have to do, let me just steal this from you a sec, is what I've done is I've taken this and like put this right here, and I'll just take my brush.
Yeah.
And then you can get a little more if you want more. So just take it and put it on your
Sorry.
paper. You have to get a nice amount of, get some poly on there and it'll pull it off. Do you know what I mean? Make sure there's enough poly on there, grab it, see if you can get a little more on there. And you may have to put some more on your paper. Oh, good enough. Good. We're gonna let this dry. When that's dry,
Yeah.
then yours will be, and you can even, you know what, you might want to get your brush, because see how that drips?
Oh, yeah.
Just go around the sides. There you go. And on this one, I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm gonna take my chipboard and hot glue it to the back so it stays nice and stable. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hot glue this to the chipboard to make it heavier. And you could add just a little hanger to this and push it in, or even like a heavy duty staple that sticks up, hang it on something. Put a piece of string in here or something before you glue it down. So you could just hang this up. But I am just gonna go for this and just hot glue it down. And it's got a lot of ridges, so you definitely wanna make sure that you at least get on an edge. And I'm not like overly concerned with where I'm hot gluing this, quite apparently. Now, was that like easy?
Yes.
It doesn't get much easier than that.
That's great.
So if you have the kit, you're gonna see you have 2 pieces to do these cardboard ones and 3 boards to do 3 of the wooden ones. And you could even add a fun frame, a real frame around this if you would like to. So it's just kind of endless, and it just gives you another way to use those images. You guys, wasn't that fun and easy? Okay, some of the concepts were a little bit like when we did our bunting video, but we even made this one simpler, and it's fun because the little brick stencil was a little different, and it comes in the kit too. At the bottom of the video, if you're interested in one of these, we may have a few left, so click on that. But I hope you thought this was fun, and she did such a great
It
job.
was so fun. You're gonna have so much fun.
Whatever you do, have fun.
Have fun.